Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you're having a fantastic day as always. I hope if you celebrate Christmas, you got your stuff taken care of because this was, in fact, the last weekend before the big day. Folks, I want to talk a little bit about the Caitlin Clark Time Athlete of the Year Award or some of the aftermath. Okay, I know there's already been a ton out there about what she said and so forth, and I don't want to really dig into that. I want to talk about something that I think really hasn't been talked about a lot, that I think is maybe the biggest issue with all of this. And look, I think Caitlin Clark said what she said partly. I mean, I don't know what's in her head, obviously, but I think part of it from who I see Caitlin Clark being as a person is that she thought she was being nice. She was doing a favor. She was acknowledging something that a lot of people wanted her to acknowledge, and that if she did this now, that would be the end of it. I think that was the big hope, that that would be the end of it. She'd say this, put it behind her, everything would change for the next season. I saw that with a lot of her fans too on X saying, "Hey, okay, she said what she said, and I don't actually care that she said it, and now let's all stop and let's move on and forget it." And my response, and I had this conversation with some people who said it, was, you're not you haven't been paying attention to the last number of years. I said this just made it a whole lot worse. It's not going to stop. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. And I'm not talking about the issue that a lot of people are talking about, the split of the fan base, and people are upset that some fans are saying they won't support her and all that. That is not it. This is a different issue. This is, to me, they got a lot of what they wanted, and they saw the crack. This is blood in the water. This is, as the saying goes, you give them an inch and they take a mile. That's what we get here. I said, all you people who are happy she said it because now it's over, I love your optimism and your faith in humanity, but that is not the case. It is going to get a lot worse because now they're going to continue to push because, as I've said before, it's never enough. They're going to want more from Caitlin Clark. And the whole goal of all this anyway was to separate her from her fan base. And now they can use these things that she said in that interview as an excuse to continually bring this stuff up, to continually attack her fans, and now to push her to be the one that comes out and really definitively says, I don't want you as my fan if you are, X, Y, Z. That is what, and I'll show you. We already had the Washington Mystics owner, right? That whole spiel came from what Caitlin Clark said. And I've got a few clips here. This one, the first one, shout out to one of my subscribers who sent me to this because I had missed it. And I want you to listen to, I think I've got 3 clips, totally less than 3 minutes, but I want you to listen to this and I want to react to it and see what you think about where this is going. But I think these are great examples of what I'm talking about. And for me, this is the big issue, not Clark fans are going to do some arguing about whether she should or shouldn't have, or if they agree. But the fact that now I think her second season could actually be worse than the first season, believe it or not, in terms of the toxicity. So let's listen to this first clip's about 30 seconds.
Another thing, when she says that this is white privilege, it's great that she said that, but then the real honorable thing is don't take the award. Give the award to the person you believe deserve it. It feels like when Macklemore won the New Artist of the Year over Kendrick Lamar. It's one thing to say you don't deserve it, but give it to the person who it belongs to. That's even more honorable. I don't like when people say they've been honorable without following through on it. But I don't want to get too deep into it, pause, because then they'll start acting like we're going against women, and we're definitely not going against women.
Okay, wow, where to begin? Okay, so it is in fact not great that she said that, and she didn't actually say that. See, this is the other thing we're gonna get. We're gonna get a lot of twisting of the words. And one of the big issues I had with what she said when she said, I feel like I've earned this. First of all, that is wishy-washy. It should have been, I have earned this. Because we all know, this is again what I go back to about Caitlin Clark being nice. We all know she earned it. Caitlin Clark knows she earned it. And she should have said, hey, I worked hard my entire life. I earned this. And then, of course, you get the old saying that whenever somebody says something and then they say, but, the first part is irrelevant, right? So to say, I earned it, but privilege, you've negated the earning. And I know that's not what she was trying to do, but that's how a lot of people are taking it. That's what this guy is using by saying that. Right. And then what I don't even know where to begin with this honorable stuff, although I guess he's trying to take the virtuous moral superiority position by saying that, oh, well, that's, it's not honorable. And again, pushing for more, right? Yeah, she said this, which she didn't actually say. So we twisted what she said, and then they say, well, it's not enough. I mean, dude said it's honorable for Clark give give up an award that she won and earned to another person who's doesn't have the Clark fan base. I'll leave it at that. Who did not, in fact, earn it. Right? I mean, she never said she didn't deserve this award. We all know she believes she's the person who deserved it, and she'd be right because we all know she deserved it. I mean, her year, because let's not forget this also includes a lot of her senior year in college when she broke the record and took Iowa all the way back to the finals. There's absolutely no debate, no question at all whether or not she deserved it. Of course she deserved it. And I love how he said, give the award to who it belongs to. Who is that? How dumb is this guy? Who it belongs to? It's an award given to the person Time thinks earned the award, and that is Caitlin Clark. I mean, you don't like this. Well, I don't like when you speak, but here we are, right? And then that last part really gets me if you caught that. Just to show how ridiculous and foolish he is and this with this nonsense, this whole take, he completely switched it up. No idea what he's talking about. He's just repeating nonsense that he learned to keep the narrative going. No, no one thinks you're against women for this. Just popular not so tan women. And I'm pretty sure there's a word for that, but I mean, like that just came out of left field, right? Am I missing something? Let me know in the comments below. Did any of that lead up to you think it's attacking women? No, he's just attacking Caitlin Clark. But he switched it up for I don't know why really. I don't understand why. But anyway, but let's go to the next bit.
Caitlin understands, like, they're mad at Caitlin Clark because she's understanding how toxic the WNBA was last season and how the fans made it toxic and how there was two different fan bases pitted against each other that was unnecessary, right? I mean, there's no reason for the mainstream media, like real professionals that have huge platforms, ESPN, Fox Sports, all these places, to honestly be pushing an agenda that black women hate Caitlin Clark and pushing that for their own, personal whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And what Caitlin is saying, I see y'all using me. She had her own stuff to deal with last season. She couldn't really address it. She was a rookie trying to figure out her game in the WNBA, and she had a lot on her shoulders, man. So now that she had a second to sit back and relax and think about it, I think she's understanding that when I come into the next season, I don't want this narrative. And those fans that followed me to this league, if y'all are those type of fans, then I'm going to separate myself from you. I'm going to say things like this, and now y'all not going to like it. And I think that's good for her to do that, and it's good for the sport to do it, man, because I would love to enjoy the WNBA next year without all of that talk that we had to deal with this past season, man. So I applaud her for saying that.
There you go, right? Great example of what I'm talking about. Took what Caitlin Clark said, completely twisted it, completely misrepresented it, and used it to tell you what he believes and saying that's what Clark's saying, to tell you what he wants to happen and alluding that that's what Clark is saying. Because, I mean, this, first of all, that is not at all why anyone is mad at Caitlin Clark. Her fans most certainly did not make the WNBA toxic. The league has always been toxic. It has always been a cesspool. It has always been a reality show. They are mad because people are finally paying attention and have discovered all this and are calling it out. They were hoping that it was, maybe we did overlook it in terms of its entertainment value as a basketball league. And now they're all finding out, no, Nope. All that was nonsense. There's a reason we didn't watch. And they love Caitlin Clark enough that they're still watching. And they found a few other players that they love that they're still watching. And they want the league to be successful. I mean, I get that too. Oh, you hate the WNBA. You want it to fail. No, I want it to succeed. And it is not going to succeed without some serious changes. Fan bases were not pitted against each other. The old guard, which is not actually a fandom of basketball, but a fan of, everything else about the league, and the pro old guard media that repeatedly attack Caitlin Clark. The players attack Caitlin Clark and her fans. Her fans being the only ones that can actually make the WNBA viable, profitable league. They stood up for Clark. They responded. They didn't come into the league hating everyone. They came into the league looking forward to watching Caitlin Clark play pro basketball, and they got attacked, and Clark got attacked, and they hated that, and they exposed all the crap, and the WNBA hated that, and the fans responded. And the mainstream sports media never push that agenda. I don't even know where he's coming up with that nonsense. In fact, the mainstream media, as we know, if you've been paying attention to this channel, they did the opposite. They pushed the agenda that Caitlin Clark fans pushed the narrative that these players hated Caitlin Clark. And to be fair, the players' behavior showed that, yes, indeed, they did hate Caitlin Clark. It was a lot of jealousy is what goes into it as well. And there you go. Exactly what I've been saying. He's putting words into Caitlin Clark's mouth that are the words that these people want, that these fools have wanted from day one. Get Caitlin Clark to denounce her own fans. Right? That's what he just said. At the end of that clip was as clear as day. They want to separate her from her fans, and they know the only way it happens is to get Clark herself to do it for them. And did you notice he put it in a way that made it sound that that's what Caitlin Clark wants? That's what she's thinking, that she knows she has really bad fans, that she wants to get rid of them, and that she said this because she doesn't want her own fans. And they know without her fans, Caitlin Clark becomes irrelevant. No matter how good she is at basketball, they will live with her being that good as a player as long as she is no more popular than anybody else in the WNBA and her fans go away. Because again, the league doesn't have to make money. They are supported by the NBA, so they don't need Clark's fans. If the NBA would do the right thing and say no more money, and the WNBA actually had to turn a profit, all the investors said, no, you've got to start paying us back, no more money, then we would have a lot of changes. Then they would embrace Caitlin Clark. They may still mumble and grumble and have attitude and all that, but they would have to make changes. Otherwise, the league would fail. So as you can see, they're taking what Clark said to support their take on Clark's fans. And yeah, they're twisting it, right? So I'm not saying, I know I'm going to get some people who give me this, but I'm not blaming Clark. I'm not saying she said these things directly, but they're going to take it and twist it. They're going to take it and twist it. And let's face it, with what he said at the end, too. You are the reason, him, not all of y'all, that we had the talk. You could have enjoyed the WNBA. The league, I'm sure he never watched until Caitlin Clark, by the way. But instead, you had to spew nonsense about her fans. Again, he's simply saying we need to get rid of Caitlin Clark's fans so that everyone can enjoy the WNBA because it was so wonderful before Caitlin Clark's toxic fans. That is what is going on with this. It's absolutely nuts. Oh, man. One more clip. Let's go.
They're not going to be able to use Paige Beckers.
Yeah.
They're
She
not
said-
going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You
And
right.
Paige said the same exact thing when she won her award.
The ESPYs, right?
Was it the ESPYs?
I think it was the
Yeah.
ESPYs.
Yeah, she said it better. I'm going to be honest with you. So her speech was better, and it was on target. It was on time. Caitlin Clark is a season late, with this message. And I don't even really think she had a message. She's not even admitting that, she has a large fan base due to being white. She's saying, yes, I have.
Catch that? I hope you caught that. Now, again, right? That's what I've been saying for so long, and why they've embraced Paige. They want Caitlyn to be Paige. For those who never saw that SB thing, wow. Let me just say that for right now. It's just wow. So you heard what she said, which to me is disgusting. But again, they will never be satisfied, right? You heard her. Nothing is ever enough. Oh, Paige did it better. Paige did it sooner. Caitlyn needs to do more. It's always going to be Caitlyn needs to do more. Caitlyn needs to make it clearer that she does not want her fans. Quote, she's not even admitting she has a large fan base because she's white. Word for word, that is exactly what she just said. Can it be any clearer? That is vile. That is vile. You understand, for those of you who are upset with other Caitlin Clark fans who are disappointed she brought politics into sports, please understand they're talking about you as well. Okay, it's the whole fan base, and you are only a fan because Caitlin Clark doesn't have a tan. That's it, right? She has a large fan base because she's white. It cannot be any clearer than that. Not some of her fans. It's not some. That's it. That is why you're a fan. It has nothing to do with the logo threes. It has nothing to do with how gracious she is off the court and how much she embraces her young fans. It has nothing to do with her basketball IQ or the passes that she throws. It has nothing to do with her competitiveness and mentality. No, no. None of that matters. You don't care about any of that. So please understand, Caitlin Clark fans, you need to realize that the Hatelins are talking about all of you. All of you. And it is unfortunately going to get worse. I don't know if it can make it any clearer than with the stuff you just saw in this video. They made it very, very clear. They're going to take it. They're going to use it to push for more from Caitlyn. They're going to use it to attack her fans again. They're going to use it to separate her from her fans. That's the goal. It's always been the goal. And they're rejuvenated right now, right? They got a crack. And now they're going to go back out on the attack. So unfortunately, that's the way it is. You know, I think Caitlin Clark is, as they say, Midwest nice, Iowa nice. She thought she was doing a very nice thing, and that would be the end of it. Unfortunately, that is not going to be the end of it. But let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Really, really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.